I have to give a disclaimer to this video. When I describe the power and the influence that memes had, in no way do I mean to discredit the absolute atrocities of white nationalism and of the far-right ideologies that influenced him. Merely, I want to show how memes are a vector, and how those ideologies would not exist without memes. There is a mutual, symbiotic relationship between extremist ideology and memes. Thank you. Hello, this is Meme Analysis, and today we're going to be talking about something serious rather than the usual humorous and lighthearted takes on memes that we have. So, I feel that as someone who has laid claim to the title of Meme Analyst, I have some sense of responsibility to take a look at the usage and influence that memes had on the very recent mass shooting in New Zealand of the two mosques in Christchurch. So I hope you will stick with me and not take these analyses as a lighthearted joke, but see that I am very serious about what memes mean and how they influence our lives. Thank you. So to start out, we have to look at two of the memes that he quotes in his live video. He says, "Subscribe to PewDiePie," and "We Yangin'," Yang Gang. So to fully contextualize those statements and what they might mean, I think we have to look at PewDiePie as a white nationalist figure. Now, I'm not saying that PewDiePie himself is responsible or that even that most of his fan base is, merely that his conflict with T-Series, a markedly racial conflict, Indians versus a white man with blonde hair and blue eyes, I think that the usefulness of that conflict is very clear, and his standing with young, disaffected gamer guys, I think makes the symbol very clear and why he is used. And then Yang Gang. So he has the shooter has been criticized as, a loser and a nobody, a frequent user of the internet. Yang, the presidential candidate for 2020, promises universal basic income, which in the meme has kind of garnered him the reputation as a candidate for NEETs, those not in education or training, people that basically do nothing. And so, in some ways, I think he's invoking, beyond Yang being the most popular political meme of the past week, he's invoking the concept of NEETs and racial supremacy, white supremacy. Those two together show kind of his full political spectrum that will be furthered in his manifesto. Now, another important part is, why were these two things said before he went into the shooting? Now, in the past, it's been very clear why people have given their cries before murder, before political conflict. There have been cries, Allah Akbar, a reverence for their God, or Viva la Revolution, a reverence and invoking of their political cause and their powers. But in this we have the most purely modern cause, which is memes, something most people throw away as entirely meaningless. But as I have said for very long now, that memes matter, and it's very clear now that memes mattered to him, enough so that he would invoke them before murdering huge amounts of people, and invoking them throughout his manifesto, which he knew would be read, knew would be given a great deal of attention. And so he made it as mimetic as possible. He was invoking as many cultural archetypes and memes as he could to gain as much influence and attention as he could. I think it shows that memes have replaced religion. Memes have replaced politics. That's one of the biggest misconceptions that people have about politics today. They think that people on the internet are interested in politics first, and that the memes are symptomatic or merely a part of it. Memes come first. The politics are secondary, and this is very clear in his manifesto. So, to give full understanding to this mass shooting, I am going to be analyzing the shooter's manifesto. I'm going to be reading from it directly now. Are you a supporter of Donald Trump? As a symbol of renewed white identity and common purpose? Sure. As a policymaker and leader? Dear God, no. And then further, on Brexit. Are you a supporter of Brexit? Yes, though not for an official policy made. The truth is that eventually people must face the fact that it wasn't a damn thing to do with the economy. That it was the British people firing back at mass immigration, cultural displacement, and globalism. And that's a great and wonderful thing. So, there it's made very clear that his ideology has absolutely nothing to do with physical reality, with policy. It is entirely a politics of symbolism, which is to say, a politics of memes. Brexit, the Donald, they are both memes. Their policies are entirely irrelevant to the majority of their supporters on the internet. There's the famous idea that, Donald Trump could shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue and nobody would do anything about it. And it's true. Because his supporters are interested in a meme, not in a real political person, but merely in the figure, in the symbol, in the meme of Donald Trump. This goes to show why he added so many symbolic and mimetic aspects to his shooting. This was not a shooting that had any real legitimate political goals. It had mimetic, symbolic goals. It wanted attention to be paid to it, homage to be given by the internet, which has already happened. There are already many memes reveling in him, reveling in what he did. He set out to make a symbolic, mimetic act, and he succeeded in doing so. If the media thinks that it was merely a political act, they are far behind the times. The future of politics is memes. Memes are going to dictate nearly all political action in the future. It's already begun. It will only get worse and worse. I honestly do think that this mass shooting is going to become an archetype, a meme for future mass shootings. One that is entirely produced for the internet and then live streamed on the internet. There's also the aspect that people that want to do this are now given a direct look at how it's done. He is, in a way, just like his call out to PewDiePie, he is a live streamer, a let's player of reality, a real-life first-person shooter. The argument that he makes, in fact, is that video games had utterly no influence on his act, on his shooting. But I think he betrays himself in that he's able to meme about it. The fact that there's already a symbolic connection between video games and mass shootings, loners, gamer guys, and mass shootings, and disaffected young white men, it's very clear. The fact that he wrote all over his gun, just as one can do in a video game. The fact that he was shouting out memes and having music play. All are the typical traits in a Let's Play. He was creating an act that would cater to disaffected young white gamer guys. I don't think anybody would disagree that video games had a huge influence on this act. Another piece from his manifesto. Are you a Fed, shill, Mossad agent, false flag, patsy, infiltrator, Antifa, glow in the dark, etc. No, but the next person to attack could be, so a healthy skepticism is a good thing. Just do not allow your skepticism to turn to paranoia and keep you from supporting those that want the best for you. That's a very, very important statement that he makes. He is already aware of the archetype, the meme of the mass shooter as shill. He already knew that all the conspiracy groups, all of the far-right groups that he's a part of, assume every mass shooting to be a false flag. There is no doubt that he took into account internet views on mass shooters before he took part, before he acted out the mass shooting. He had a complete self-awareness, an internet perverted, dark, distorted self-awareness, but a self-awareness all the same. This act was done layered through different memes, layered through different ideologies. And to further that, I will sum up his ideology as eco-fascist accelerationism. I mean, how clearly can you get the image of a meme ideology? Accelerationism is pretty much only existent in memes, and then also, in its practical application, in Silicon Valley. Arguably a group of people rich only because of memes, only because of the technological flows of information. And then ecofascism, which is pretty much just a joke at this point, because Evola, again, has a fan base that exists almost entirely on the internet. Ecofascism, well, I'm not necessarily saying, oh, blah, 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 there's no real ecofascism or no real accelerationism. The point that I'm making is that these ideologies exist 90% on the internet, on obscure forums. To finish this, I'm going to read the most important line in his manifesto. From where did you receive, research, develop your beliefs? The internet, of course. You will not find the truth anywhere else. This system, this belief system that he fostered on the internet, is different from every other shooting in the past. There is no Deus Vult, no Allah Akbar, no Viva la Revolution. There is no cause, no politics, no religion. All of those things at this point are merely aesthetics, merely fronts, merely a means of getting attention. Memes, the internet, that is the cause of this shooting. And I hope that I'm wrong, but I truly do think that this is going to be the characteristic of every shooting to come. Every shooting that is done by a young, disaffected person is not going to be one based on any radical political ideology, no radical religion, but those are merely the trappings and the suits of memes, of symbols, of infinitely powerful archetypes that exist on the internet. They express themselves through these scapegoats, through young, disaffected people that really don't know any better. They were not given the support of a community, but rather they were isolated, whether by their parents or by their own social lackings and social shortcomings, but they found a home on the internet. And this home was a womb where they were able to find comfort. But it fostered, it festered into techno-neuroses. Techno-neuroses that do more than just create memes and play on the internet. Memes that, in fact, can kill vast amounts of people. I hope that this will not create a pattern of young people that live stream and make a meme out of horrible, terrible acts of violence. But I really do think that it will. I really do think that memes are going to begin to affect the physical reality much more than we had thought in the past. We thought memes were merely something that friends shared on the internet that developed and went away, but they are going to be having more and more real-world effects. I've felt this way for a long time, and I feel that this act has given even more wickedness, more truth to this idea. I've said this many times, and I'm going to continue to say it at the end of every video. But remember, memes matter.